Memorializing Resolution Number 92, requesting the New York State Legislature introduce legislation expanding the hate crimes law, New York Penal Law, Section 485.05.
I'd like to propose a wild idea. If the legislature doesn't want to go for it, that's fine. Have it a long roll and everybody explains their vote. Or we could do a debate. It's up to you. Okay.
We can do debate, right? Yeah, we'll do debate.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Oh, wait, it's a debate.
Long roll.
It's a long roll anyway. I was going to say, it's like, there's no debate. Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, it was like,
It's late.
It's getting tired.
yeah, no, we're all a little tired. So
Forgot.
Alan.
I know, I remember that. I know, is this
Chairman,
I
to explain my vote. Last week, a New York City...
Chairman, point of order, Chairman.
Oh, Legislator Latt?
I think Mr. Lapp wants to make an amendment.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Legislator Latt, motion to amend?
Motion to amend Resolution 92, Mr. Chairman, from the word whereas in the beginning to the word whereas in the end, and the resolve. The wordage in the amendment should read, and does read, including but not limited to fire personnel and emergency medical services, EMS.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the amendment?
Short yes.
The amendment is adopted 23-0.
Now long roll.
On the resolution as amended, Alan.
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to explain my vote. Last week in New York City, FDN ambulance driver was run over in the Bronx by a man who attempted to steal her ambulance as she pulled over to do her job and attempting to do her duties as an EMT first responder and assist somebody. It was during the snowstorm. She was killed quite violently in the traffic accident, run over by her own ambulance. She was a mother of 5. I know I myself have had my life saved twice by volunteer ambulance. My mother has had her life saved twice. My father had his life saved twice, as did my late sister. In December 2012 in Webster, New York, an arsonist purposely set fire and laid in wait in order to set a trap for 4 firefighters, shooting them, killing 2 of them, and injuring 2 of them quite severely. They were all first responders. On July 8th, 2016, at a peaceful protest march for Black Lives Matter in downtown Dallas, Texas, to exercise First Amendment rights against questionable shootings of African American men, a lone sniper killed 5 police officers. When police searched the gunman's home, they found bomb-making materials, guns, and a self-written manifesto on how to shoot and kill police, and statements about the lone gunman hating police. Also in 2016, there were numerous other incidents, one in Des Moines, Iowa, where 2 police officers were ambushed and killed while sitting alone in separate police vehicles. The first officer was shot, and then the responding officer who came was also shot. There was also some other incidents in 2016, copycat type incidents, where in San Antonio, Texas, a police officer was ambushed and shot and killed while 2 other police officers were wounded in similar shooting incidents in St. Louis, Missouri and Pennsylvania. Semantically, as a lawmaker, the reality is that this is never going to go anywhere as a law. It will never make it up into through the New York State Assembly.
But I thought memorializing resolutions worked.
Right, isn't that what point of order for, right? So, thanks in the peanut gallery, Chairman Parity. Essentially, I'm going to vote yes on this resolution for the reason that, in my district, I represent the Town of Saugerties Police Department. Joseph Sinagra has taken a step that no other police department in Ulster County has taken. He is using money in his budget to get cameras, body cameras, so that his police force in the Town of Saugerties, where I represent, are accountable for their actions. I represent several large fire companies that are volunteer in my district, and I represent the Diaz Ambulance Memorial Service. Like I stated before, has saved my life twice and members of my family's lives. I think that a resolution like this, while it's never going to go anywhere, it sends a good statement to society, and it shouldn't be conflated as being something that should be associated with Black Lives Matter movement. Essentially, we need to allow the police to protect our First Amendment rights and prevent incidents like what happened in Dallas when the police were trying to protect the First Amendment rights of protesters who were part of the Black Lives Matter movement. So I will be voting yes, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Bartels.
Thank you. I believe that this resolution, while emotional, is misguided. Crimes against police and first responders already hold enhanced penalties. As Legislator Allen just referenced, what happened, the horrible crime in Webster, as a result of that, the Webster provision in the SAFE Act was enacted, and as a result of that provision, murder of a first responder who is engaged in his or her duty is a Class A1 felony with a mandatory penalty of life in prison without the possibility of parole, which in a state that does not have the death penalty is the highest penalty possible. That same crime committed against a non-first responder would not necessarily hold the same charge. When the first of these types of legislation was moving through the Louisiana legislature, the ADL said this: the ADL strongly believes that the list of personal characteristics included in hate crime laws should remain limited to immutable characteristics, those qualities that can or should not be changed. Working in a profession is not a personal characteristic and is not immutable. As a society, we make great efforts to help protect law enforcement and ensure they receive justice. Additionally, ADL is concerned that expanding the characteristics including in bias crime laws may open the door to a myriad of other categories to be added and simultaneously dilute current hate crimes legislation. This bill confuses the purpose of the Hate Crimes Act and weakens its impact by adding more categories of people who are better protected under other laws. I agree with that statement, and I think if we were to look at professions that face a kind of prejudice and go across them all and add them all to the laws, one of the first ones we would have to add as an amendment to this request would be abortion providers who are targeted for their profession, who are gunned down for their profession. I'm not going to offer that as an amendment because it would be hypocritical, because I believe that too would dilute the hate crimes bill. And for those reasons, I'm a no.
D'Ophelio.
I'm a yes.
Berkey.
I'd like to explain my. Seems to be off. It's on, just hold it.
Text me, I'll say it.
Testing. Okay. I'd like to explain my no vote. I agree with the reasons mentioned by Legislator Bartels. As a member of a protected class and as someone who has brought forth legislation here regarding human rights and transgender rights that have not yet really seen the light of day here in the legislature, I believe that there are other unprotected classes here in Ulster County that we have failed to recognize. And I think that as she points out, that 48505, the hate crimes legislation, is really about protected classes. It is about immutable characteristics that we carry with us. I'm lucky to be able to potentially pass, which is amazing to me that I live in a county where I feel like I have to pass as a non-Jew sometimes to avoid discrimination, but that's the truth. However, I know other members of our community who cannot avoid that and cannot avoid discrimination, and we need to protect them. We need to understand that this hate crimes legislation is about protecting the classes that have been severely discriminated institutionally for decades, if not centuries, in our country. So I'm going to be a no because I think there are other tools in our toolbox already for protecting to the full force of our law our very very valued first responders, but this is not the place to do it. Thank you.
Briggs,
Yes.
DeLon,
No.
Donaldson,
Yes. I might like to explain my vote also. Law enforcement, as has been already been pointing out, has already given special consideration, and they should have special consideration, as should first responders. As Legislator Bartels pointed out, attacking the law enforcement is already as enhanced penalties. Hate crimes are about protection due to race, sex, sexual orientation, and religion, and meant to protect because they don't have special consideration, but are targeted historically and right on through to today. We should not weaken the hate crimes legislation that grew out of the civil rights movements. If you did, and you want to add occupations, you would need to add teachers have been attacked at one point because they were teachers. Just as pointed out by Legislator Bartels, is abortion doctors are attacked because of their occupation. And I am sure others are attacked because of their occupation. In fact, Metro North, if you ride in the Metro North, you get on one of their cars and you'll see a sign that says, assaulting a railroad employee doing their job is very punishable. There's punishable like that of affecting an officer because they're carrying out as a conductor doing their job and trying to keep orderly peace on the train. So by adding this into the hate crimes, it weakens that law, those laws, but does not do anything to enhance the laws that are already on the books to protect first responders and police, which they should be protected. And I really think it sends the wrong message. So I am a no.
Fabiano,
Yes.
Gerantine, Green,
I'd just like to explain my vote, my opposition. And in so doing, I want to say this one is a really hard decision. But Chief Tinty was mentioned before, and I want to commend Chief Tinty and the Kingston Police Department for their direct communication to build understanding between the police and community members in the city of Kingston, along with the Ministers Alliance and NJAN, which is the End Jim Crow Action Network. And I think those are the kinds of things that we need to do to promote understanding, and that's what's going to ultimately protect everyone. In this case, it's a technicality. I don't think that the intent belongs in Penal Law number 485.05. I however, have the greatest respect for our first responders. Thank you. So I am voting no.
Hefner,
I just wanted to briefly commend the sponsor, Legislator Lapp, because I believe he brought this memorializing resolution forward because he truly does care about this issue and he's not trying to be political. But again, it's an issue he cares about. So I just wanted to commend him for that, but I will be a no.
Lapp,
Yes.
Litz,
I will be a yes, and I will explain my vote. Hate crimes are crimes that are perpetrated on individuals not because of something they've done, not because the individual that perpetrates the crime knows the individual or for some latent reason wants to harm them or kill them, but solely because those people belong to a class of people. If you wear a yarmulke, you might get beat up or killed. If you're gay, you might get beat up or killed. if you, some other religion, these crimes are perpetrated, they're hateful crimes, they're typically premeditated. And just because you wear a uniform of a firefighter, a first responder, or a police officer, it doesn't mean that it's not a hate crime. So I will be voting yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Mayo,
Yes.
Maloney,
I don't see how anyone can look a police officer, an EMS person, an ambulance person in the eye if they voted no tonight. Those people put their lives on the line every single shift that they go in. And you should be thankful that they are all out there doing a job, paid or unpaid. If you ever call 911 in the middle of the night, people are there. I've had 20 firefighters in my living room for one little old lady at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night. That's not dedication. These people, they protect us every day, and we should be supporting them. I'm voting yes.
Parity John,
I've been a firefighter. I was a firefighter for 25 to 30 years. I vote no.
Parity Richard,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
No.
Ronk,
Yes.
and Worrell.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted 15 to 8.